guys, welcome back to Arry the Stag. TR Tony here reporting, middle of the week kind of, and just working on this here Triumph Stag chair of ours. It's proving to come to bits fairly easily, he says confidently, and you'll remember that the other day we took off the seat back and much of the stuffing and the various items on that. Still a bit more to do. We've got to do the head restraint and one or two other things, but if you want to follow me through the process, hopefully, as I say, it may just help one or two others if they're doing the same at home with theirs. Okay, so we've moved on a stage further, and as you can see here, I've actually removed most of the straps on the back of the seat back. The last one remaining here, they all simply slot into these little twin holes in the frame, and actually with a little bit of fiddling and fettling you can just pull them out and they drop away. The vast majority of them are the same size except the bottom one, which I shall show you once I've taken this one out. There we are, which is a little bit wider, no doubt for the lumbar support. So that one also a slightly different configuration on the clip, you can see there. So that goes deep down in the bottom of the base at the back here. So that's all that, and sits behind that little piece of metal there. So that's all good. Interestingly, yesterday you'll probably remember I was a bit worried about how to remove this ear head restraint, and having removed simply a little bit of tape over the back of this thing, there's actually a hole here which holds the vertical in place, and very simply, just off camera, if I can grab that a second, there was this thing shoved in the gap, which I didn't think was that professional, and held down with a bit of tape, so that's why it wouldn't come out. I thought it was rusted in, but luckily it isn't, and so I'm quite pleased about that, and we'll have a look at that in a minute. And just now we've got this crummy crud out, literally it was held in with a bit of tape over the top. You can see the remains of the tape that's holding it in place, but it wouldn't let it go out that way. Obviously it had gone through the whole vertical chrome kind of bar here, which then held the head restraint on. So that's a positive move, and I'm quite pleased about that. And you can see here that the vinyl has been glued to the frame. I've got it upside down currently, so we've got the mechanism as you look at it on the upside here, and here you can see it's just literally been glued with contact adhesive. Some of it doesn't appear to have actually ever stuck, to be honest. Looks like it's just been done, but that's been on there, I reckon, for 20 years. I don't know, long time since it's been refurbished, but you can see that's all pulling off there nicely now, revealing some decent metal underneath, hopefully, and I'll just pull that off. Oops, try not to drop it at the same time, that would be good, wouldn't it? Ooh. There we are, back in the room. Okay, so we've now got the seat back completely devoid of most of the ancillaries, apart from the levers, you can see, with the Bowden cables still sticking out there. Just on the subject of the metal itself, yes, it's got some surface rust on, but actually I think it's fairly solid, not rusted away, and perfectly salvageable, I think, with a little bit of restoration. Now, what I have seen, obviously, is that these Bowden cables go into the release mechanism for the seat squab. That helps then make the thing tilt and releases and locks it back off. You've got these seat lifters here, which I understand you cannot get hold of now, so I've got to be really careful with this. I've just put this back on to see if the mechanism works, which it does. You'll also see the plastic knob here. I haven't removed yet. I don't know if I will. What I might do, because here you've got a couple of fixing screws, bolts, but I suspect they are welded in pretty much with years of rust and so on, so I don't want to start messing that about. If I can use a vapor blast system, which is basically a high powered jet wash, to clean off this stuff without damaging any of the mechanicals and leave these mechanisms in, then that will be preferable rather than disturbing them. So that's what I'm going to try and do, but for now I think we've got this back completely broken down, and reasonably pleased with how it's turned out. And I guess from here on in it'll be a question of doing the other one and taking it all down to this place in Woolston in Southampton, so they can do the vapor blasting and clean it right up back to an original as condition as we can possibly get it. Now for the head restraint. And just for the record, I've put the lifting arm back on here. You can see this back on, rare as hen's teeth, so don't lose it, Tony Armstrong. But you can see that actually when you lift the rear bar, it's like a torsion bar system on there. If you can see that twisting, I can only do it one-handed, I'm afraid, because I'm holding the camera with the other hand, but there is actually a torsion bar arrangement. If you look to the back here, it's a bit like the boot mechanism too. The boot has a torsion bar spring, and in this case there's one either side, so as you rotate this, I guess the seat back moves forward or backwards and is being resisted by these quite strong springs, and that then helps you get the rake right as you would like it and then lock it off in position as you would want it. Now the head restraint, I've got it off, which we're first of all very pleased about. I didn't think it was going to come out of that slot there, but it did, albeit held down with tape. It obviously sufficed and locked it off. I'm now just taking these screws out on the bottom. It's the underside of the headrest, and luckily they're not too rusted in, so I'm quite pleased about that. This is going to be a bit of a journey of discovery. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen when I take these off, but we will soon find out, I guess, as we remove the base. Yeah, okay, that's a little bit of wood by the looks of it, and underneath we have, not quite sure what we've got actually. No, I'll have to investigate. Ah, okay, there we are. That is the edge. Good, that is the join. So it's already looking a little bit rusty in there. No doubt, having been stood proud for a number of years in a parked position in Hounslow or wherever it was, Heathrow, gathering rust. So let's just take a look a bit. I'll come back to you very shortly. Bear with me. And one for the scrapbook, I think you'll find now, having peeled back the edges underneath. This wasn't wood, by the way. This was a metal cover covered with vinyl, glued on, no doubt, and then screwed to keep the seam together on the top of the, I beg pardon, the underside of the head restraint. But if you look in here, I mean, you might as well have a bag of sand in here. There is no foam left at all. Look at it, absolutely crumbled away. It's just a bag of sand. No wonder they didn't feel very strong or structurally sound when I had the thing in the car or on the seat before. So I'm just going to take all this apart now, no doubt get a bit messy again, and see what is revealed. Well, there we are. Literally a bag of crumbling, what would have been padding, I guess, at some point in the past, all deteriorated, protected with an outer layer of foam, which I guess we can replace. You know, that's not going to be a irreplaceable item. What might be is actually the core, or the middle, which, if you've never seen this before, as I hadn't until just now, that's actually what is inside your head restraint, which doesn't look that solid really, does it? But I guess it would help in a bit of a prang if you had one. Simply held together with a couple of rivets by the looks of it. Some surface rust again, kind of tinnish kind of inconsistency, and attached to the chrome kind of bar there. So again, I think if I can get this you know, water blasted, then that might clean up as well. I don't know about the chrome on here, it's probably too far gone, but at least we have a complete unit and salvageable, so really pleased with that. And simplicity itself, I've just taken off the vinyl cover that was on the base of the head restraint, and you can see here it is, a little bit of metal that was stuck to. These screws actually drive into, for those that don't know, I didn't know until I saw this before, there's a lump of wood there, so actually it just screws into that quite nicely and neatly, and I'm just putting it back together so I don't lose any screws or lose any odd bits of kind of trim that I might be hunting for and ruining the day that I didn't do this in the future. So there we go. There we have it. Everything preserved. Head restraint, tilt arm, sensor for passenger seat, seatbelt lights tucked away, ready to be repaired. I've put the base on top of the runners, just temporarily held it there just to give you a full effect, and the seat back on the very back. So I think we've done a good job. Yes, quite a bit to do, but I think a good vapor blasting. I'm really interested to see how this could work, but if we get it all vapor blasted and maybe powder coated or painted, black enamel, whatever. As I say, it's academic a little bit because you're never going to see this again once it's under the covers, but as long as it's structured all right and it mechanically works okay, then happy days. Here I've got on the side the straps and the rubber kind of straps off the back. They are obviously tired, but they are working, and I think just to be on the safe side, I'll look after these rather than chucking them away, because you never know. You never know. And again, if we can save a bit of money without compromising the quality of what we're doing, then that will be really good. But overall, I'm pleased with the seat and how it's come apart. I've now got to do the whole thing again with the other side. Happy days. Great stuff, guys. So we've been making some good progress. I know it's like trying to watch paint dry sometimes, this, but hopefully we're getting somewhere. If nothing else, if I do contract this out to be done in the end, which I may do still to get it done professionally, the upholstery that is, I'm hoping to save quite a bit of money by not having to do all the jobs that we've just walked you through on film. And I'm sure, well, it's actually very satisfying. I find it very interesting, and I hope you have as well. And all in all, if we can get the cabin looking resplendent in leather, black leather, which is what I want to do, then that'll be fantastic. I just would be very nervous, I think, spending upwards of £1,000 maybe on leather interiors and then having to do it myself. I don't know, I'll take a view. I think we just do it one step at a time, as you have to do in restoration, that we'll get this aqua blasted and vapor blasted even, get the term right, and then let's see what we've got after that. And as I say, maybe a little bit of enamel, black enamel paint will be sufficient. It doesn't necessarily have to be properly done, other than, you know, make sure it's rust proof and looking good and together. So that's what we're going to do. Good. Okay, well, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget, please, to like, share and subscribe. And if you haven't done already, I know one or two of you have done already, we've got a tax disc sized double-sided Arry the Stag badge of honour, we're calling them. All right, so if you'd like one, there'll actually be a link in the narrative at the bottom of the video, but also go onto our website arrythestag.com, and you'll see there is a page on there called badge of honour, so you can apply for one. It's all free. We'll send you one in the post, and it's all part of sharing the classics dream that we're all so passionate about. So that's there. Feel free to use it. We've got them going out worldwide currently, and it's great to build a community. So there we go. All right, guys, thanks for watching once again. Hope you're having a great week wherever you are, and we'll see you online on Arry the Stag very soon. All the best, guys. Cheers for now. Bye.